This is my singing bowl, you guys. Sounds amazing. So that's what we're going to get into this month of January coming up, getting into the senses of the body, because part of a mindfulness practice is you learning to become the master of your senses rather than our sensory perception and our sensory input and our senses that can get overloaded sometimes, causing us to react all the time. So part of this next month of January, we're going to get you into your senses. That was the sense of sound. We're going to get you in the sense of taste, touch, smell, sound, sight, all of the senses. And also we know when you get tactily in the body, it's a great anchor point for a meditation and mindfulness practice. And it helps us to get sometimes out of that busy mind and drop into our body. We can use our senses in this part of the process. And when you get really deeply mindful, you are really literally connected to your sensory experience all day long. There is very little time during the day that I'm not anchored somewhere in my body and sensing, I feel this sensation here and this sensation here, and just connecting to that sensory process that's going on 100% of the time, 24/7 in our body. Our sense doors are always open, and they're always interacting with the world. And so that's a huge component to this practice. So the month of January is about mindfulness meditation practices that get us into our senses. And I'm going to start it today with you with a guided walking meditation. So I'm going to post for you a separate video that is a guided walking meditation, and it is a beautiful way to work on concentration, clarity, and equanimity. We walk all of the time with a purpose, or to get somewhere or go somewhere. Oftentimes, even when we're out just taking a leisure stroll or going for a walk, there's an altruistic motive in the back of our head of like, oh, I want to get exercise, or da-da-da, you know. So with this guided walking meditation, just notice the senses in the body. The first couple of times when I give this to new students, they often tell me they have like this thing that comes up in the pit of their belly or in their solar plexus or somewhere in their body that they feel like they're being held back, or that they are anxious a little bit, because we're used to walking with a purpose, getting to our destination, getting to our goal. And in this practice, the practice is the walking in and of itself. There is no goal, there is no destination in mind. And it also is beautiful because it gets you into, you do it bare feet, and it gets you into the balls of your feet and the soles of your feet. And it gets you into your entire body in a very slow, subtle way. A lot of what we're going to be doing with tactile stuff this month of January is moving meditations. So in your practice of mindfulness, you should have all sorts of tools, all sorts of different things, skills to lean upon and to use, because each skill or tool will wake up or awaken or take you to a deeper layer of mindfulness. And they can be used at different times in your life. So for instance, if you have a really hectic, crazy, stressful day and it's hard for you to sit solid on a mat and just sit there for 20 minutes or 15 minutes and just sit silent because you're just literally buzzing, walking meditation or moving meditation will be perfect for that. And I posted a few moving meditations for you guys, the Qigong ones, and if you look through my news feed on my Facebook page, you can find lots of moving meditations that I posted there. So try out this first one. It's a guided walking meditation, and it only takes a few minutes, 5-6 minutes, but try it this time a couple of times, 3, 4, 5 times. Try it each day and see how your progression changes along the way, and see what sensations come up for you in your body. And as always, feel free to post if you have any questions or comments. And then the second thing I wanted to talk to you about today was I started this course about 6 or 8 months ago. And I took you to some deep places in this course. I talked to you about looking at mortality and confronting topics like death and change, big change in our life. And you know, I kind of started you small with some subtle little mindfulness things like changing your habits around breathing and changing your habits around hydrating and nourishing your body. And then we got into some more depth and layer, because mindfulness is a continuum. A lot of people come to me and they say, oh, I just want to get more mindful because I want more focus or concentration at work, or I want to get better at this skill, this sport that I want to play, or I want to just maybe quiet the busy mind, or I want to be able to sleep better. They come to me with like the surface level reasons of why people maybe want to get mindful, or maybe the superficial reasons why they want to get mindful. But what happens is mindfulness doesn't really stay up here. There are deep places that any practice of mindfulness will take you if you sustain a practice of it, to liberation from all of those, the shackles of the sensory inputs, like digging through there and finding the richness there. Or maybe it may be liberation from how you see and deal with relationships, or maybe liberation. It will be a liberation for you. And how deep or how shallow you go in it, disclaimer, is not always up to you. When you start the practices, if you do this wholeheartedly, if you do this with consistency, everybody's coming into this at a different level, this playing field. And everyone has a different past experience, more or less denseness or daftness of mind. Everyone has a different level of borrowed knowledge, more or less of that. And all of those things affect how fast or how slow or how gradual this process of mindfulness takes you, to what level and depth it takes you. And so my point for this is, I always like to give a disclaimer, and that is, mindfulness can take you to some really deep places. And what you're doing is stripping away the dichotomy of thinking, that kind of old way of thinking that you've allowed to go on for many, many years, where your mind and your ego controls, and they paint this picture for you that's not necessarily true. And through the practice of mindfulness, you see the Maya of the mind, and you see the untruths, and you actually see the truth of how you think about things. And it can unravel and freak people out to unravel their world. It's like on The Matrix when they say, I should have took I don't know which pill it was, but I should have took the red pill, or I should have took the green pill. I didn't want to go into the Matrix. I didn't want to see the Matrix around me. That's part of the process of mindfulness, is you're going to see that around you, and you're going to see that within you. And some people get really deep and they connect, to the void, to that place of oneness or liberation, or whatever you call it, that place where you completely self has stripped away, and you see some brilliant truths. You see that void. But for some people, that void can freak them out, and that void can cause them to be shaken right to their very core. Another way to put this is, when I go to a long meditation sit, I'm out for 10 days from this world. You live like a monk, you're meditating 10, 12 hours a day, and you're really going deep into this process. And then you come out and you drop right back into your everyday life. You live like a monk and you come back into this householder. We're all householders. I have responsibilities and duties just like you do. And that's another way that we can get disconnected. We get deep into meditation or mindfulness, and then we come back into this world and we don't know how to acclimate there. So my point of all of this is, you need good guides and you need good teachers, and you need people. This used to be reserved, this information, for the mystics and the monks, and that they didn't give it to the common people. But now it's out there. The Pandora's box has been opened. So the good thing for you is you get to look into Pandora's box if you want to, if you have the desire for change and to see this beautiful thing and to experience it. But you also have the opportunity for people like me and other guides and teachers that have gone before you, that have walked this path and said, ooh, I have experienced that. I can either hold that space for you and help you, or they can point you to somebody else who has a deeper practice, even a deeper practice than they do. That's why you have to find good coaches or guides or mindfulness teachers, people who have actually walked the path and have experienced this knowledge. It's about gaining experiential knowledge about mindfulness and meditation in these deep states of liberation. And so if you have any questions, I'm so I'm so happy to help and answer or point you in the right direction or share any of my guides with you, because the information's out there, you guys, and it is amazing. And the taste of liberation is so sweet. It is so sweet. It's work, it's a practice, it's going to be a challenge, but that challenge is the most worthy challenge out there. I don't know anybody who doesn't say on any level, yeah, I would love to know myself a little bit better. I would love to know how I work. I would love to know what's going on there that I may be not seeing or ignoring, or my blind spots, or that can make me more efficient or make me sleep better or a little bit smarter or a little bit more focused. So it's all there for the taking, you guys. You just got to start doing the work. So I hope you enjoy this guided walking meditation. I'm going to post another video below this. It's the link to the guided walking meditation. It only takes a few minutes, and I would encourage you to now start. If you haven't started before, I've been saying all along, you got to start a regular practice. No better time than the new year to kick that into gear and start this guided walking meditation practice. Once you watch the video once or twice, don't doubt yourself, don't use the video, and do it on your own. Trust your instincts, trust yourself. Oftentimes people wonder, am I doing this right? I don't know what I'm doing. Am I supposed to be feeling this? Just let all of those, watch that. See, that's part of the process of seeing those crazy thoughts. Just watch them and let them drop away, and then do the practice on your own. Trust yourself. It's a very simple practice. It's a very simple process. Go as slow as you can, drop into your breath, drop into your senses, and just go for it. Namaste, you guys. Have a fabulous, fabulous new year. And I'll see you back next week in 2019, next week and next year. Namaste.